So we come to the end of the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 7, In the Name of Honor. Fett and his team are reviewing the damages to the sanctuary, and it's pretty much gone. They know war has been declared. Fett thinks they should head to Jabba's palace, stay there, whereas the biker gang says, no, we need to stay here, we need to patrol the area, we need to show the people we're going to be here. It takes some convincing for Boba Fett, but it actually makes more sense. They'd have a better chance in an open area like that than they would waiting for a siege to come over to Jabba's palace. As they're going around patrolling the area of Mos Espa, setting up in places, thinking that no one's going to get through, turns out Cad Bane gets through. This is one of Boba Fett's old teachers. So they have a little talk to each other. He basically tells him he's working for the Pikes and is basically given an ultimatum. Also, he finds out Cad Bane uses this to hoping to throw Boba Fett off guard, pointing out that it wasn't really the biker gang that killed the Tuskens, it was the Pikes. And they blamed it on the biker gang. And honestly, Boba Fett believes this, can see the logic behind it. And Fennec has to calm him down because there's about to be a showdown here. And she tells him wait to a place of his choosing. So as they're patrolling the area, we come to find out that the crime families in Mos Espa have betrayed the neutrality role and have sided with the Pikes. And all of a sudden, it's basically an ambush. Everybody gets pinned down. Soba gets almost taken down. He's down on the ground. The bikers are getting killed. The Pikes come up to negotiate with him, and the Twi'lek assistant, he's basically like, oh, I have this great idea. I'll go out there and negotiate the surrender. So Fett takes advantage of this, writes out something. As the Twi'lek reads it, they come around the back. Both him and Mando start shooting up the bad guys. However, it's just as they keep taking one down, more and more just keep coming. And they are getting shot, their armor's taking hits. And you have to remember, just because this armor is getting hit does not mean they don't feel the impact of those shots. Those damn things do hurt. It looks like they're about to be taken down when the people of Freetown show up in a hovercraft. They help out. They take out many of the soldiers that are there. And the Pikes retreat. Things are looking good. And then all of a sudden we get these big-ass spider-like tanks with shields. And they try valiantly, but they just are getting their butts kicked. So they're trying to distract them, trying to move them around, but their kinetic weapons aren't strong enough to get through, or too fast to get through, and their blasters have no effect on the shield. You have Mando. He tries to use the Darksaber to get through, but doesn't have any luck. Boba tells him to keep it busy. He's going to try and get help. As things go on, the battle keeps getting intense. Eventually, we see Boba Fett came back with his Rancor. And that becomes a huge changing point. The Rancor is used with also the help of Mando and others, is able to take out the two spider tanks. However, it seems a Rancor has a very big fear of fire. So when Cad Bane shows up, he shoots fire at it. Boba's knocked off. The Rancor goes on kind of a little bit of a tangent. Now, one thing that's interesting is an X-Wing shows up in Mos Espa, and it turns out to be R2 flying it, and Grogu in there. So it's been shown Grogu chose the chainmail. So the mechanic goes and is taking Grogu to go see her, and that's when she runs into the Mando, shows him that the boy's there, And this is while they have a spider tank going on him before the other Rancor kills him. But now he knows he's back. He doesn't really have time to, get an explanation on what's going on. This is not the right time for it. During this time, Fennec Shand has been tasked to go to Mos Eisley and take out the command and control center where the Pikes are at. So, Fett wanted to do pretty much what they did, hold down in one place. The battle is pretty much won after those are taken out. The Rancor is going on a little bit of a tear. Mando tries to stop him, but pretty much gets his ass kicked. Gets thrown down. Grogu comes out, gets in the middle, and basically uses the Force to put the Rancor to sleep, and then cuddles up next to him. So he's learned some new Force abilities at a short time with Luke Skywalker. Fennec Shand gets to the command and control, kills the Pikes. So now Boba has revenge for the murder of his people. She kills the crime lord head leader, so there's going to be a vacuum in power now. That'll be interesting. And she hangs the mayor. So I guess there's going to be new elections in Mos Eisley. Or, no, wait, he was the Mos Espa one. My bad. After Boba gets knocked off the Rancor, him and Cad Bane have some words. And then they do a old-fashioned drawdown, and turns out Cad Bane is still faster. I mean, this guy's always been fast. I mean, he's taken on a lot of guys who are good gunslingers, but he's just always been better. He kind of toys with Boba a little bit. Then Boba gets the upper hand when Cad's about to shoot him in the head right in front of him, but he's now close enough, and we see Boba Fett use the skills he learned from the Tuskens in hand-to-hand combat, something we know Cad Bane is not necessarily an expert in. He's more of a gunslinger, not much of a fist fighter. And ultimately, Cad Bane is killed with the pike that the Tuskens gave him. So now there's peace on Mos Espa. Boba Fett doesn't really feel like, this is for them. He doesn't like all the bowing and all this stuff. So he's ultimately got the power. And then Fennec Shand says, well, who, if not us, who else? She also, because he's sore, asks him why he isn't in a bacta tank. He tells us is being used. They get together with some of the biker gang and Soba, and that's pretty much where it ends. We fly up. You see the N1 with the Mando, and of course Grogu in the back. Grogu starts tapping on this, and he's like, all right, one more time. He hits that booster speeder, and they go flying out, and we fade to black. And then we have the mid-credit scene, which is shown to be Vath Cobb did not die, or Cobb did not die. But his injuries are so severe that even while he's in the bacta tank, the modifier is going to have to do some work on him, just like he did to Fennec Shand to save him. So overall, decent episode, pretty good. We do not know if there will be a season 2. I do not know what they would do with season 2 unless it was to transition of power. I wonder where Din Djarin is going. I wonder if he's going to first go back to where Luke is and ask him why the child is here. And this might lead to, in The Mandalorian, him learning the ways of how to use the Darksaber with Luke's training, or maybe Ahsoka. So we will see. Because we know there is going to be a Mando Season 3 sometime in the future. We will just have to wait to see. Alright, folks. That is my thoughts. I hope you all enjoyed.